I have been treating patients with type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance for over 60 years. My name is Master Kenji. I am a medical doctor trained in both Western clinical medicine and traditional Japanese healing. I was born in Japan. I spent decades treating patients in mountain villages and in modern hospitals. I have sat across from thousands of people whose blood sugar kept climbing no matter what they tried. Thousands of people doing everything their doctor told them and still ending up on medication. And in 60 years of practice, I noticed patterns that no textbook ever wrote about. Patterns that only become visible when you sit with patient after patient over decades and watch what actually happens inside real human bodies eating real food in real life. The doctors who specialize in blood sugar disorders in modern medicine are called endocrinologists. They are hormone specialists. They are trained to manage your numbers. I respect them deeply. But after 60 years of watching medication and food side by side in the same patients, I will tell you something most endocrinologists do not say out loud inside a clinic. The patients who reversed their insulin resistance completely were never the ones who relied on medication alone. They were always the ones who understood what was happening inside their cells and changed what they put in their body every single day. Medication manages the numbers. Food changes the biology. These are not the same thing. Today, I am going to explain exactly what is happening inside your body, and I am going to give you 5 foods that I have watched work in real patients over 60 years of clinical practice. Not theory, not laboratory rats. Real men and real women over the age of 60 whose blood sugar came down, whose belly fat reduced, whose energy returned through food, through consistency, and through understanding. But before the 5 foods, you need to understand what is actually happening inside you. Because in my 60 years of practice, the patients who changed the fastest were always the ones who understood the problem clearly first. When you understand the problem, the solution stops feeling like a mystery. Your body runs on a fuel called glucose. Glucose is the energy your cells need to do everything: breathe, think, move, heal. When you eat food, especially carbohydrates, your body breaks it down into glucose, and that glucose enters your blood. Your blood then carries that glucose to your muscles, your liver, your organs, your brain. But glucose cannot walk into your cells on its own. It needs a key. That key is a hormone called insulin. Your pancreas makes insulin every time your blood sugar rises. Insulin finds the door on the surface of each cell, puts the key in the lock, turns it, and opens the door so glucose can go inside and be used as energy. In a healthy body, this happens smoothly and quickly. But after 60, something begins to go wrong with that lock. I have seen this in patient after patient. The door on the cells starts to resist the key. Insulin is still there. It is still trying, but the lock is stiff. The door does not open easily anymore. So the pancreas panics and makes more insulin, trying to force the lock open. The blood stays full of glucose that cannot get inside the cells. The pancreas keeps flooding the body with more and more insulin. Over time, both blood sugar and insulin levels stay dangerously high. High blood sugar damages blood vessels, kidneys, nerves, eyes, and the heart. High insulin stops the body from burning fat. This is insulin resistance. And the older the patient, the worse the muscles become at accepting glucose, because fat begins to build up inside the muscle cells themselves and blocks the signal entirely. In my 60 years of clinical practice, I watched this process destroy the health of people who could have been helped far earlier if someone had simply explained this to them and given them the right food. That is why I make these videos. That is why I am speaking to you today. Here is the most important thing I need you to hear. The door is not destroyed. The lock is not broken. It is stiff. And the right foods, eaten every single day with consistency, can loosen that lock again. I have watched this happen. I have measured it in my patients. Multiple clinical studies confirm what I observed long before those studies were ever published. Specific compounds found in everyday foods can increase the sensitivity of your cells to insulin, reduce the inflammation that drives the resistance deeper, slow the speed at which sugar floods your blood after a meal, and feed the gut bacteria that play a direct role in regulating your blood sugar. These are not miracle foods. They are foods that work through real biological pathways that have been studied, measured, and confirmed in human clinical trials. The first food is fatty fish: salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, and trout. In my practice, I began recommending fatty fish to my insulin-resistant patients decades before the clinical research caught up with what I was observing. These fish contain long-chain omega-3 fatty acids called EPA and DHA. Here is what these omega-3 fatty acids do inside the body that makes them so powerful for insulin resistance specifically. One of the main reasons cells stop responding to insulin after 60 is inflammation. The fat that builds up around the belly and inside the organs releases inflammatory chemicals that physically interfere with insulin's ability to open the door on the cells. Omega-3 fatty acids directly suppress those inflammatory chemicals. They reduce the fire that is jamming the lock. They also increase the production of a hormone called adiponectin, which makes muscle cells more sensitive to insulin again. A study published in the journal Nutrients confirmed that omega-3 supplementation lowered blood sugar and improved insulin sensitivity significantly in people with type 2 diabetes. Research published in Nature's Scientific Reports found that people with higher omega-3 levels in their blood had measurably better insulin sensitivity across the board. 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish per week is what the research supports and what I have recommended to my patients for decades. A serving is roughly the size of your palm. Grill it, bake it, steam it, your cells will respond. The second food is blueberries. In Japan, we have eaten wild berries as part of our daily food for centuries, and now science has confirmed exactly why they work. Blueberries contain some of the highest concentrations of compounds called anthocyanins of any food on Earth. Anthocyanins are the pigments that give blueberries their deep blue-purple color. Inside the body, anthocyanins do something precise and measurable. They slow down the enzymes that break carbohydrates into sugar, which means less glucose, floods the blood at once after a meal. They reduce oxidative stress in the cells, which is one of the key factors that damages the insulin receptor and makes the lock stiffer over time. A clinical review published in the journal Antioxidants confirmed that blueberry consumption produced measurable improvements in insulin resistance in overweight individuals and in people with insulin-related conditions. A separate clinical trial found that people who consumed 1 cup of blueberries alongside a meal had dramatically lower insulin levels in the following 3 hours compared to people who ate the same meal without blueberries. I tell my patients 1 cup of fresh or frozen blueberries 5 to 7 days a week, with plain yogurt, with oatmeal as a snack, consistently every week. The third food is cinnamon. In my 60 years of practice, cinnamon is the food that surprises my patients the most because it has been sitting in their kitchen their entire lives and nobody told them what it can do at the cellular level. Cinnamon contains a compound called cinnamaldehyde and a group of polyphenols that activate the insulin signaling pathway inside the muscle cells directly. In simple words, Cinnamon makes your muscle cells behave more like they did when you were younger, and your insulin worked perfectly. Multiple studies have confirmed this. One well-documented study found that people who consume between 1 and 6 grams of cinnamon daily for 40 days reduced their blood sugar levels by up to 24% and their cholesterol by up to 18%. Another study showed that cinnamon extract increased the activity of the insulin signaling pathway in muscle cells directly and measurably. 1 gram of cinnamon is roughly half a teaspoon. I recommend Ceylon cinnamon specifically. This is the variety used in traditional Japanese and Asian medicine, and it contains lower levels of a compound called coumarin, half a teaspoon in your morning oatmeal, your yogurt, your tea, or your warm water every single morning. Consistency is everything with cinnamon. It does not work in 3 days. It works in 40. The fourth food is apple cider vinegar, and its mechanism is one of the most clearly understood of all 5 foods I am sharing with you today. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid. Acetic acid does something very specific inside your digestive system. It slows the emptying of your stomach. When your stomach empties more slowly after a meal, the sugar from that meal enters your blood more slowly. Instead of a sudden flood of glucose that overwhelms your insulin and forces your pancreas to panic and overproduce, you get a slow and steady stream that your insulin can handle calmly. One clinical study found that consuming 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before a high carbohydrate meal increased insulin sensitivity by 34% after just 1 week. Another confirmed that the acetic acid in vinegar significantly reduces the post-meal blood sugar rise. The protocol I give my patients is simple. 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in at least 8 ounces of water, taken 10 to 15 minutes before your largest meal of the day. Always diluted, never straight. Undiluted vinegar damages the enamel of your teeth and can irritate your throat over time. Start with 1 teaspoon if your stomach is sensitive and increase slowly over 2 weeks. The fifth food is dark leafy greens, specifically spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and collard greens. And this is where I see the most silent deficiency in my patients over 60, a deficiency that almost nobody is testing for and almost nobody is correcting. These vegetables are rich in magnesium, and magnesium is not optional for insulin to work. It is required. The insulin receptor on the surface of your cell cannot function properly without adequate magnesium. Without enough magnesium, the receptor becomes less responsive. The lock becomes stiffer. Researchers established a direct and measurable link between low magnesium levels and insulin resistance. Studies show that people with the lowest magnesium levels have the highest rates of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. After 60, the body absorbs magnesium less efficiently from food. And many common medications that my elderly patients take every day, antacids, diuretics, certain blood pressure medications, cause the body to lose even more magnesium through the urine. Dark leafy greens are among the richest dietary sources of magnesium available in any grocery store in the world. 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers approximately 157 milligrams of magnesium. 1 cup of cooked Swiss chard delivers over 150 milligrams. I tell every patient I treat 2 cups of dark leafy greens every single day, cooked or raw, in any form you enjoy. In soups, in stir-fries, in smoothies, in eggs, in rice dishes, every day. Non-negotiable. Now I need to tell you something that is more important than any single food on this list, because in 60 years of practice, I have watched people eat the right foods and still not get the results they deserve because of this one invisible mistake. The way you eat matters as much as what you eat. When you eat your vegetables and your protein first, at any meal, before you touch your carbohydrates like rice or bread, your blood sugar rises significantly less after that meal. Studies have confirmed that eating vegetables first reduces the blood glucose spike after a meal by up to 73% compared to eating carbohydrates first. I have been telling my patients this for 30 years before those studies were published. Eating slowly, chewing completely, and pausing between bites gives your insulin time to respond before the next wave of glucose arrives. These two habits, food order and eating speed, cost nothing. They require no shopping, no cooking, no preparation. They begin working from your very next meal. I have practiced medicine for over 60 years. I have sat with patients who were told their diabetes was irreversible. I watched many of them prove that wrong, not with more medication, but with understanding and with food. Your cells are not broken. Your insulin is not broken. The system is congested, inflamed, and slow, and it is asking you for specific things. Fatty fish to reduce the inflammation that is jamming the lock. Blueberries to slow the sugar flood and protect the receptor. Cinnamon to activate the insulin signaling pathway inside your muscles directly. Apple cider vinegar to smooth the sugar curve and give your insulin time to work. Dark leafy greens to restore the magnesium your receptor needs to open the door. These 5 foods work together. They address 5 different parts of the same biological problem. And the one action I want you to take before this video ends is this. At your very next meal today, eat your vegetables first, before the rice, before the bread, before anything else on the plate. That single change made at that one meal will produce a measurably different blood sugar response inside your body. I know this because I have watched it work for 60 years. Start there. Your body is already waiting.